I stood in the middle of my parents' living room, arms crossed, watching them argue about floral arrangements and stage decor like generals planning a war they expected me to fund. My mother waved a glossy wedding catalog in my face. My father looked at me like I was a walking ATM. And then my mother said it. "Beta, it's your duty. After all, we invested so much in you." I laughed, quiet, sharp, deadly. Because that was the moment I realized they had finally forgotten who they were talking to, who they had created, and who they had betrayed. See, this wasn't about money. This was about history, a history they pretended didn't exist. I still remember the night I opened my college acceptance letter, full scholarship except for housing and books. I ran to them, breathless, hopeful. My father didn't even look up from his phone. My mother didn't break her silence. "We can't afford it," they said. But the next day, my sister got a brand new iPhone and a designer bag because she deserved nice things. I worked 3 jobs while drowning in coursework, slept on couches, and lived off instant noodles. Meanwhile, my parents threw birthday parties for my sister that looked like Bollywood sets. I swallowed it all, silently, because I thought maybe, someday, I'd matter to them. I didn't. Not until money entered the conversation. Not until my career took off. Not until I learned how to breathe without them. The shift started small. Missed calls. Message after message, "We need to talk. We're having some financial issues. You're earning well now, nah?" Then came the real shock. They had promised, actually promised, my sister and her fiancé a dream wedding funded by Big Brother, without asking me, without even telling me. I only found out when my sister sent me a Pinterest board and said, "Choose which theme you'll be paying for." That was the moment the betrayal crystallized, not because they asked for money, but because they still believed they owned me. I didn't scream. I didn't argue. I didn't remind them of the nights I cried while working till dawn, or the cold floors I slept on, or the degree I clawed my way to. I simply went quiet. And in my silence, I planned. Because revenge isn't loud. Revenge is methodical, precise, delivered with a calm hand and a steady pulse. I began gathering receipts, literal and emotional. Screenshots of their promises to my sister. Statements where they admitted they never intended to support my education. Evidence of the money they spent on luxuries while I starved. Every piece slid into place like part of an orchestral composition, my composition. First move, I told my sister I'd handle the finances. Let her dream big. Let her brag to her in-laws. Let my parents shine with pride. Second move, I contacted the wedding planners myself, politely canceling every booking by explaining that the primary sponsors were unable to provide funds. They understood. They canceled everything. Third move, I prepared a single envelope. Inside, a photocopy of the college rejection email, the one I received after telling the scholarship office I couldn't afford the remaining fees. A list of every expense they refused to cover. And at the bottom, one sentence. I will not fund what you refused to build. Fourth move, I transferred exactly 0 rupees. So here we were, back in the living room, them demanding, me silent, my sister texting frantically, asking why every vendor was calling her with cancellations. My father finally snapped, "Why are you doing this? We raised you." I stepped closer, looked him straight in the eyes, and let years of pain settle quietly in my voice. You raised me? I raised myself. You abandoned me the day you chose convenience over my future. You refused to invest in me. Now you want a return? On what foundation? My mother's face drained of color. My father staggered back like the truth hit harder than any slap. My sister whispered, trembling, "You ruined everything." "No," I said. "They ruined me first. I'm simply returning the favor, cleanly." Then I placed the envelope on the table. My father opened it. I watched the recognition bloom, then burn. This, I said calmly, is the cost of neglect. You don't get to choose when I matter. I walked out before they could answer. Their voices followed me, desperate, but I didn't stop. Not once. The air outside felt new, sharp, free. By the time I reached my car, I felt lighter than I had in years. Revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the simple act of refusing to bleed for people who let you drown. And as my phone buzzed with frantic messages, I smiled. Because they finally understood. They learned the truth the hard way. If you cut someone out of your future, don't be shocked when they cut you out of theirs.